This is for you, Taurus. Get ready for an annular solar eclipse occurring on the 1st, as well as a penumbral lunar eclipse occurring on the 16th of the month. I'm Pastor Rosemary, Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. Now, if you want to get in contact with me, you can go ahead and visit our website at www.readingsbyrosemary.com, where we provide you with information on our spiritual consultation, psychic astrology, Rosicrucian, Kabbalah, as well as upcoming classes and seminars. We have information on high magic, and also we have Merkaba seminars as well, and healing wings of light. For the light has healings in its wings. Now, the annular solar eclipse, this is an event which doesn't really completely envelop the disk of the sun. This current one occurs in the sign of Virgo the Virgin, and that has a divine tone of I analyze, using the logical part of the brain rather than using the creative side of the brain. So it's more of the logical as opposed to the emotional. And also, this is going to accentuate the fact that the North Node is also in Virgo, and that has to do with the moon. And this is, we're talking about, this is a lunar event. So the moon at this juncture is at its apogee, having the result of causing a distancing of emotionality or right brain artistic abilities that are simply in a state of rest. It's not gone for good. They're just in a state of rest at this juncture to enliven the expression of such talent in the months to come. So just understand that the moon and the sun and the earth will be completely aligned during this cosmological event. Now, the penumbral lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces the fish, having the divine tone of I believe. This is during the full moon that will cast a diffuse shadow upon the moon, and although this is not as intense as a bite taken out of the moon like we see during a partial lunar eclipse, and it doesn't have the melodramatic effect of a total lunar eclipse where it looks like the moon's been dipped in blood. This is an event that's during a total lunar eclipse, but this is an event that will be more of a stealthy event, because penumbral lunar eclipses are shady. They're shadowy. They're not intense. They're still significant, though. And this is a time when the seeds that you've planted are going to sort of begin to blossom forth. But you're going to also understand, because it's a full moon, that the seeds that you've planted, although they're going to blossom, it's still going to be according to the, how the weather and the ground that you put them in. So what you need to understand is that it's not going to always, the fruit of what you get isn't always what the engineer of such seeds had in mind. So you have to be very in control of weather, and you have to be very in control of the kind of soil. This is all, an analogy for doing high magic. It's an analogy for how the seeds that God plants during these astrological events turn out, being determined by how much one is going to affect one's environment. So what we're trying to say is that astrology works, and it can be used diagnostically, but it can also be used in a way to apply angel magic or astrology angel magic or whatever kind of magic you're using, because it has the effect of being something that's like a condition. So you can, should I go to the store on a rainy day? Or should I not go to the store on a rainy day? Well, if you're going to go to the store on a rainy day, carry an umbrella. Or if there's too much sun and you don't want to get too much sun on you, you can carry an umbrella too. But so it's like a weather report. Astrology is like a weather report, except that if you consider everything, it's more specific than that. So that should explain that pretty simply. Now, rounding off this month is the second new moon event on the 30th in the sign of Libra, the scales, which occurs for those using Eastern Daylight Time, while sky watchers utilizing Greenwich Mean Time must wait for the 1st of next month for this particular lunar phase to occur. Now, the planet Venus is going to transit direct to the sign of Libra from the 1st to the 22nd of the month, affecting you, particularly in your 6th house of daily routines, habits, health, and personal hygiene. Now, this transit affects everyone in their 7th house of law and commitment, but for you, the 6th house aspects will cause perfectionism in your analysis of legal matters, law, and order. All of these types of issues will come up. Of course, you know, for each individual person, based on the other intricacies of their place and time of birth and other aspects, you're going to be able to have other houses apply. So then it would even turn it from the natural chart, turn it a notch. So this is still a generalization, but it gives you an idea of how these work together like gears work together. So it's God's great clock. You see exactly how it works. Okay, now remember that the North Node is currently in Virgo, so expect yourself to get very, very, very precision-oriented during this time. Understand that what's going on with your Virgo buddies at this time is all about being a perfectionist. And don't let this said perfectionism cause you to become unable to be flexible when you need to, because you're fixed. Now, Venus ingresses into the sign of Scorpio, the Scorpion, on the 23rd of the month, affecting you specifically in your 7th house of law and commitment, while influencing everyone in the 8th house of birth, sex, death, and debt. This cosmological arrangement brings forth legal concerns over the most basic of human activities, where the visceral parts of life must be considered and dealt with responsibly. So this, you know, the sort of Scorpio natural 8th house attributes affect you, however, in your 7th house. Of course, again, that's for Taurus in general. If you know, you specifically as an individual have other aspects that may turn that dial and give you another more precise aspect, but that doesn't negate all the other aspects. Now, the planetary angel Aniel sometimes is assigned to the planet Venus and the Sephira of Netzach in Kabbalah. Among the order of the Elohim, this attribute of God is evoked during ritual using the God name of Yahweh Zabaoth, or Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh Zabaoth. Now, the Archangel Aniel, or Aniel, sometimes called Haniel, being varying names of this divine attribute found in the angelic realm, or dreamy desire in general, and a specific desire of victory is found in the Sephira of Netzach. Through this is of course in Rosicrucian Kabbalah, and this angel is known as the beauty or grace of God. Again, in Kabbalah, Haniel, Aniel, Anafiel, or Haniel, or Haniel, is among the angels who helped transport Enoch, the patriarch Enoch, to heaven in the book of Enoch. The Hebrew book of 3 Enoch, or the book of Enoch by R. Ishmael ben Elisha, the high priest. Now, in chapter 17, the princes of the 7 heavens, of the sun, moon, and planets, and constellations, and their suites of angels. R. Ishmael said, Metatron, the angel, the prince of the presence, the glory of all heaven, said to me, 7 are the princes, the great, beautiful, revered, wonderful, and honored ones who are appointed over the 7 havens. Now, the footnotes give a lot of information here. Anafiel, or Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, that's Anafiel, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, Makim, the divine majesty, struck me with 60 lashes of fire and brought with him 60 lashes and hosts of fire. So this is about Anafiel, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Now, further down in the footnotes it reads, Then came Anafiel, then it continues, and it says the chapter accepts the tradition to which Anafiel is assigned a position higher than that of Metatron. He is given 6 epithets, exactly as, and then it continues as in, and it goes on to quote other sources. Now, Anael or Hanael is said to hold a high position, being a chief of both the order of virtues as well as principalities. Venus is known as the attribute of God, the morning star, found in Revelation 22:16. I, Jesus, have sent my angel to testify to you these things in the churches. I am the root and stock of David, the bright and morning star. Now we have an Enochian angel prediction especially for you at the end of this video, so stay right here. Don't go anywhere. Now let's see how your ruling planet of Venus affects you this month, Taurus. Your Earth Guardian Archangel Uriel speaks through to you from your Taurus Astrology Archangel, who is called Asmodel. This is an angelic horoscope transmission from your Taurus Zodiac Angel Asmodel, who resides over the bull's fixed Earth, and here are his messages for you in love, money, and health issues. Now for Asmodel's love, rapture, and romance transmission. Expect a woman born under the sign of Leo to give you pertinent advice this month, especially when it comes to the matter of your love life. That's going to be very important. She has a commanding charisma that is incontrovertible. She likes being boss and is someone who really likes to sort of point her index finger. And please understand that pointing one's index finger is very bad feng shui, especially during the age of Aquarius. Especially if you're still using the old Bagua, Saturnian Bagua, that's just the magic square of Saturn, that you shouldn't be using during the age of Aquarius, because that Saturn is going to be so intense that you're going to end up making it so that you cannot get anywhere in life. So just understand that. So pointing the finger is even worse during the age of Aquarius. And she's going to end up pointing the finger directly at you. So understand how that's going to affect you. Now she possesses an instinctive understanding of the cause and effect aspects of life, especially in regards to the numinous. And that's sort of the more etheric aspects. Now being a champion is imperative to her in her very deep down in her very DNA, but she will only make new acquaintances if you catch her alone and by herself. She's locked and loaded in her actions with a great ability to control and manage others. If you don't know how to romance someone that you have your sights set on for marriage, you should consult the Song of Solomon 2:4-5. He brought me into the cellar of wine. He set in order charity in me. Stay me up with flowers. Compass me about with apples, because I languish with love. That's from the Song of Solomon. Now for Asmodel's money and wealth transmission. Be on the lookout for a Capricorn man to offer you a real estate investment deal that will be hard to turn down. You'll look for ways to get money to fund this venture. He will insist is not speculative. That's going to be very important. He'll use his inbred good looks to sway you into his proposal. He's a real heartthrob, ba-boom, ba-boom. With the ladies, understand that, because he turns them on to new and exciting venture capital opportunities, putting forward novel technologies. Exclusive, well, upcoming, exclusive prospects. That's what he's looking for. He's looking for kind of people, customers or people that he can sway one way or the other. He's looking for people exclusively. He's not looking for a whole bunch of people. He's looking for just a few, good people instead of a whole bunch of people that aren't so great. And this is going to make his funding available only to the lucky few. And this is going to be his forte, making him a veritable man for all seasons, like the cheeky play by Robert Bolt. He speaks well, engaging all kinds of folks from all walks of life. So he's really sort of, again, a man for all seasons from that well-known play. Now, my paternal grandfather used to tell me to give to the poor in all modesty without fanfare. Consider Matthew 6:2, therefore when thou dost an alms seed, sound not a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may be honored by men. Amen, I say to you, they have received their reward. Nevertheless, my grandpa used to also say that when we tithe to God, this should be done with a generous spirit. Let us look at Matthew 23:23. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you tithe mint and anise and cumin and have left the weightier things of the law, judgment and mercy and faith. These things you ought to have done, and not to leave those undone. Now for Osmodel's health and fitness transmission. See into the future of your health and fitness with a woman born under the sign of Aries, who has tried and true health remedies that work every single time. She's easy to see in any crowd because she's the one in front who isn't afraid to get noticed. She is considered extremely confident as well as intuitively intelligent. Possessing a pioneer spirit gives her an efficiency and a lively personality that you just can't beat. Now, being a winner is of great import to her, making her always willing to prove she can outdo you in anything you aspire to be. Use her for motivation for best results this month instead of resenting her if you want to heal any troubles or strengthen any portions of your constitution. My maternal grandmother used to advise me in health from the scripture. We read in the book of Proverbs 16:24-25, well-ordered words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and health to the bones. Here is a way that seemeth to a man right, and the ends thereof lead to death. So you want to go ahead and pay attention to the first part of this, where honeyed words are much better to the health. Also in Matthew 6:34, be not therefore solicitous for tomorrow, for the morrow will be solicitous for itself. Sufficient for the day is the evil thereof. So you don't have to worry so much about tomorrow because the evils of today are sufficient. Now for this month's Enochian angel prediction. Well, wouldn't you know, we've got a vision of a quick, compliant, and mysterious man born under the sign of Cancer. He's sure to please this month because he's got magnetism. And he's got magnetism through and through. Now people turn to him when he comes back around to say hello to them once he's made sure he has center stage. He loves crowds and can invigorate them by feeding off their energy. And let me tell you that at parties, he's the only one that anyone ever really can notice. Anyone can only see him at parties and gatherings, and that's the only place he wants to be, and that's why other people notice him. Because that's where he wants to be. That's where he's happy. Try not to hold him back. It's not going to happen. He's not going to give in to people who try to stop him. He's just too witty and clever for people with that on their mind. He's always paying attention to things you don't want him to notice, and he certainly doesn't miss anything. He's not going to miss a thing. If you don't want him to see something, that's what he's going to see. Understand that. There's never been a dull moment with this guy. Understand that too. Okay, now, a disclaimer is in order here. High magic can be dangerous. This is intended exclusively for entertainment purposes. remember to chant your divine tone of I have, or try out the higher aspect of simply meditating on the quality of having. Be wise, be well, be all you are meant to be, Taurus. Now for the ephemeris information, calculations for Eastern and Greenwich Mean Time, respectively. We have first Eastern time, that's Eastern Daylight Time. We have the new moon on the 1st of September 2016 at 5:03 a.m. at 9 degrees Virgo, 21 minutes. That's the solar eclipse. The full moon on the 16th of September 2016 at 3:04 p.m. at 24 degrees Pisces, 19 minutes. That's the penumbral lunar eclipse. That's 3 of 3 lunar eclipses in 2016. Now, if you're using the Eastern time, the Eastern Daylight Time, you've got the new moon, another second new moon on the 30th of September 2016 at 8:12 p.m. That's at 8 degrees Libra, 15 minutes. If you're using Greenwich Mean Time, it's going to be different. We're going to have the new moon on the 1st of September 2016 at 9:04 a.m. at 9 degrees Virgo, 21 minutes. The full moon on the 16th of 2016 September, that's 7:06 p.m. at 24 degrees Pisces, 20 minutes. That's the penumbral lunar eclipse, and that's again the 3 of 3 lunar eclipses in 2016. That's a 24 degrees Pisces, 20 minutes. Now, there's an important note here. If you're using Greenwich Mean Time, the new moon, you don't have 2 in September. You have to wait until October 1st for this new moon in Libra. And those are for those, again, using Greenwich Mean Time. Those using Eastern Daylight Time, it's going to be a second one in September occurring on the last day of the month. So that's going to be an important distinction. Now, thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Please join us again next month.
You can have anything you like, it's your fantasy. You can have it any way you want, your fantasy. You can have anything you like, it's your fantasy. You can have it any way you want, your fantasy. You can have anything you like.